Thank you for tuning into the first ever SUTV News podcast. I'm Jacob Hitz. The fast-growing pandemic of the coronavirus shut the regularly scheduled SUTV News broadcast down from Grove Hall, but we will be providing a weekly podcast in its place until we return in the fall. Tonight, we are going to have more extensive coverage on the coronavirus, the Tom Brady drama dealing, and much more. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what we have to say. Today, Thursday, March 19th, marked the first day that another country had passed China on COVID-19 deaths, according to Fox News. Italy, where the outbreak only started in late February, had its death toll rise by over 400 in the past 24 hours to a total of 3,405 coronavirus deaths in the country alone. Italy reached this underlying milestone on the same day that Wuhan, the origin place of the virus, reported no new cases of the virus. As of 2:30 on March 19th, the world has over 200,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and nearly 10,000 deaths worldwide. In the United States, the cases have grown by over 400%, from 1,600 to just over 10,000 confirmed cases over the past week. Despite the large numbers in confirmed cases, the United States has had 150 deaths linked to the virus. As the coronavirus continues to impact the country, Pennsylvania has seen some of the most cases across the nation. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, as of March 19th at 12:45 p.m., there have been 185 cases of the virus in the state. Montgomery County has experienced the largest outbreak, with over 25% of the state's cases being in that county alone. Other counties that have a large number of cases are Philadelphia County, Allegheny County, Monroe County, and Delaware County. There has only been one death reported in Pennsylvania from the coronavirus. 55-year-old Northampton County resident Carmine Fuoco died Wednesday afternoon, as reported by the Morning Call. His death came just 5 days after the New York Times reported that his sister died of the coronavirus in New Jersey. Governor Tom Wolf responded to this by ordering a statewide shutdown of non-essential businesses on Monday night. In an email sent by President Lohrey on Thursday afternoon, 2 Shippensburg students have tested positive for the coronavirus. The 2 students, who have not been identified, traveled to Europe during spring break. Upon their return to the U.S., they tested positive for the virus and now remain out of state in quarantine. The students have not been on SHIP's campus since March 3rd and 4th and got infected with the virus during their travels. President Carter reassures the SHIP community of their goal to keep Shippensburg safe and protected during this time. She also asked that if any student, faculty, or staff tests positive for the coronavirus, to contact the university directly at 717-477-1161 or by email at covid19@ship.edu. During this outbreak of the coronavirus, seniors are left devastated, with the remainder of the semester being behind their computer screens. We asked senior Bree Amore how she felt during this time, and she said, quote, "I never would have imagined that I wouldn't get to experience my last sorority formal, my last Greek week, a last week in classes, and so much more. I can only hope that us seniors get to walk at graduation. Hang in there, class 2020, end quote." As of March 19th, 2020, Shippensburg University has not yet made a statement on the fate of graduation. Schools all over the country have closed temporarily due to the coronavirus. Because of this, students eligible for free and reduced lunches may not have meals at home. That is why many school districts, including Shippensburg, are offering free meals to children under 18. According to the Shippensburg Area School District website, breakfast and lunch are available at James Byrd Elementary and Shippensburg Area Senior High School from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can visit www.shipk12.org for more information. You can also check your child's school district website or local businesses near you to see where meals are being offered. Amidst the coronavirus pandemic on hand, gas prices are continuing to fall across the country due to the less expensive crude oil prices. One gas station even had its prices drop below $1 this week. SUTV's Tyler Dancisin has the story.
COVID-19 has been spreading mass fear across the country over the past 2 months, causing many Americans to go out and mass buy items. According to the Courier Journal, it even caused one gas station to completely sell out of fuel in London, Kentucky. The Spur oil station announced Monday evening on their Facebook page saying, quote, "During this difficult time, we would like to give back to our community by offering lower fuel prices at 99 cents for unleaded, as long as we can," end quote. The 99-cent offer was only available at one Spur oil location, and a gasoline truck was on the way to refuel the station, according to an employee who worked there. From SUTV News, I'm Tyler Dancisin. Back to you, Jacob.
NASA is preparing for the first launch of American astronauts on an American rocket and spacecraft since 2011. According to NASA, the Demo 2 flight test will send astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley to the International Space Station around mid to late May. Falcon 9, SpaceX's rocket, will launch the Crew Dragon spacecraft at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. After this final flight test, SpaceX will be certified to carry out operational crew flights to and from the ISS for NASA. This will be the first crew launch to the International Space Station from America since July 2011. When you hear the words space and isolation, does the name Al Worden come to mind? According to CNN, Al Worden, an astronaut from the 1969 Apollo lunar program, has died. Worden, once earning the record for most isolated human being, served as the command module pilot on the Apollo 15 lunar landing. According to NASA, Worden never got the chance to walk on the moon. However, he carried out 3 spacewalks on the trip back from the moon to recover video footage from cameras on the spacecraft. While astronauts like David Scott and James B. Irwin explored the moon, Worden circled around them. Quote, "During this time, he earned a world record as most isolated human being while his crewmates roamed the lunar surface, and he was 2,235 miles away from anyone else," end quote, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said in a statement. Worden passed away on Wednesday in Texas at the age of 88. He spent more than 295 hours in space alone. Before joining NASA, Worden was a test pilot, instructor, and colonel in the U.S. Air Force, Bridenstine said. He became an astronaut in 1966, according to his NASA biography. Worden eventually became senior aerospace scientist at NASA's Ames Research Center in California. He once said, quote, "Now I know why I'm here. Not for a closer look at the moon, but to look back at our home, the Earth," end quote. His multiple appearances on the children's show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood surely fueled the desire of many children to pursue careers along the lines of his and become future exploration leaders, according to Bridenstine. Quote, "We remember this pioneer whose work expanded our horizons," end quote. Now into what could be the biggest free agency signing of the decade. Tom Brady is packing his bags and he's on the move. Brady played for the New England Patriots for 20 seasons and has made the decision to take his talents to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Bucs will get the 43-year-old quarterback in a move that shocked the NFL world. He will join veteran head coach Bruce Arians and 2 Pro Bowl receivers Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The Patriots went to 9 NFL championships during Brady's 20 years and won 6 of them. The big game is in Tampa Bay this year, and no team has ever played for the championship in their home stadium. The quarterback will look to make history if he makes the big game for a 10th time and play in his now home stadium. Brady won 3 league MVPs and made the Pro Bowl 14 times and will look top keep, adding to his resume in his 21st NFL season. Sticking with NFL free agency, the biggest stars from the NFL free agency have chosen the teams to go to. Ryan Sandy has the details.
NFL free agency kicked off on Monday. The biggest splashes were the movement of the quarterbacks. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and Phillip Rivers heads to Indianapolis as the veteran quarterbacks find new homes. Teddy Bridgewater is now the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Amari Cooper signs a 5-year deal to stay with the Dallas Cowboys worth $100 million. The Dolphins loaded up on defense, signing Byron Jones and Kyle Van Noy to big contracts. The trade market sent Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills for a load of draft picks. DeAndre Hopkins was sent to the Arizona Cardinals for future draft picks and David Johnson. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded future draft picks for Darius Slay. NFL free agency is only a few days in, and there are still plenty of big names yet to be signed. Stay tuned for more content on NFL free agency. From SUTV News, I'm Ryan Sandy.
In tech news, Apple released a new iPad Pro model on Wednesday with some major changes. According to CNBC, the new iPad includes new 3D scanning camera technology. What makes this feature possible has to do with a new LiDAR scanner in the camera system that allows you to measure the distance to objects in a room. There are additional cameras that allow wide-angle 4K video and ultra-wide zoom, all of which are all features on Apple's iPhone 11 models. What makes this iPad Pro model so different has to do with a new keyboard. Apple introduced a new laptop accessory that has a trackpad similar to most laptops. This is Apple's first iPad accessory that includes such a trackpad. This, quote, magic keyboard, as it is called, will also be compatible with previous iPad Pro models. The new iPad Pro will come in 2 sizes and will begin to ship next week. Sunday night, the 11th Democratic primary debate was held, although not as expected. Originally scheduled to take place in Arizona, the DNC moved the debate to Washington, D.C., and it was held inside a CNN studio with moderators Jake Tapper and Dana Bash from CNN and Leah Calderon from Univision. The 2 main contenders for the nomination, Vice President Joe Biden and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, went toe-to-toe, or rather elbow-to-elbow, knocking elbows together instead of a handshake to begin the debate, with each candidate staged 6 feet apart, as recommended by the CDC. One newsworthy moment from the debate came when Joe Biden announced that if he wins the nomination, he will have a female running mate. This would be the first main party candidate to have a woman running mate since John McCain named Sarah Palin in 2008, and the first Democrat to have a female running mate since Walter Mondale in 1984, when he nominated Geraldine Ferraro. This debate preempted the primaries held in 3 more states on Tuesday, with votes being cast in Arizona, Illinois, and Florida. Donald Trump won every state on the Republican side, and following the elections, he officially has enough delegates to be the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party. On the Democrat side, it was another big night for Joe Biden, beating Bernie Sanders by double digits in all 3 states. In Arizona, Biden won by almost 12% over Sanders, a state that Sanders lost in 2016 by roughly 15% to Hillary Clinton. In the state of Florida, Biden won by an overwhelming 39% over Sanders, a state Sanders also lost to Hillary Clinton in 2016, then by 31%. Finally, in the state of Illinois, Biden won by 23%, a massive defeat for Sanders, who was within 2% back in 2016. Early voting allowed voting numbers in Florida and Arizona to stay relatively close to those seen in 2016. However, Illinois saw a huge drop in voter participation, most likely caused by the coronavirus pandemic. One more state that was supposed to hold their primary on Tuesday, the state of Ohio. However, due to the amount of cases of the coronavirus in the state, Republican Governor Mike DeWine postponed the primary until June 2nd. Then on Thursday, the Democratic race finally became a 2-person race, as Representative from Hawaii Tulsi Gabbard dropped out of the race after struggling to gather any support across the country and only winning 1 delegate in American Samoa back on Super Tuesday. When we come back in sports, SHIP student athletes are doing their part to ensure everyone isn't hungry. We have more after this short break.
Hey, what's going on? It's Tyler Dancisin from SUTV News reminding you all to wash your hands. Regular hand washing before and after certain activities is one of the best ways to remove unwanted germs and to avoid becoming ill. It's quick, it's simple, and it keeps us all from getting sick. Washing your hands is a win for everyone, except for the germs. For more information, visit cdc.gov. This has been a public service announcement from SUTV News.
It looks like everyone will have to wait a little longer to see their favorite friends back on TV. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers and HBO Max have decided to delay the production of the reunion special for the hit television show Friends. The reunion special was set to begin filming early next week in Burbank, but is now delayed until May, the same month that the reunion was set to premiere on HBO Max. Friends is just one of many television shows and movies that has delayed production due to COVID-19. Gal Gadot, the actress known for playing Wonder Woman, has taken it upon herself to bring some joy to the world while in self-quarantine. Gadot posted a video of herself on her Instagram page with the caption, "We are in this together, we will get through it together, let's imagine together." In the video, Gadot begins to sing the lyrics to John Lennon's 1971 hit song, Imagine. After singing the first verse of the song, the video cuts to a variety of different celebrities, such as Kristen Wiig, Will Ferrell, Jimmy Fallon, and more, each singing a verse to the song. The video currently has over 4 million views on Instagram. And finally, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas for the Hallmark Channel. Entertainment Tonight reports that the Hallmark Channel has made the decision to play a Christmas movie marathon for everyone who is stuck at home. The marathon of Christmas movies is set to start at noon on Friday, March 20th, and run through Sunday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. Christmas movies have become very popular for the Hallmark Channel, with Hallmark playing Christmas movies as early as October in the fall. You can find the full schedule of movies at www.hallmarkchannel.com/schedule. That's it for this week's entertainment. Let's send it back to Jacob Hitz.
Now let's hear from Mackenzie Mitchell and this week's sports.
With the world pandemic of the coronavirus, the sports world is shutting down. Things have come to an unexpected, abrupt halt, leaving athletes frustrated without proper closure. Many athletes would even say that it is their sport that defines who they are. Athletes use their sport as a platform to be leaders and role models for others. It is their sport that has taught them valuable life lessons on facing adversity, the effort you give when no one is watching, and how you deal with the highs and lows. It is fair to say that as a community, both nationally and globally, sports unite people. They generate conversation. No matter where you are from or what you look like, sports are a universal form of communication. This virus has had a tremendous effect both financially and socially for the sports world, but to know that the sports community has come together in other ways besides congregating to support their favorite team is refreshing. Former Duke basketball player Zion Williamson, who now plays for the New Orleans Pelicans, gives back to his community. The rookie pledged to pay the wages of the Smoothie King Center arena workers for a span of 30 days. This is over $100,000 that the 19-year-old is donating. Williamson said that the people of the New Orleans have been nothing but welcoming and showed tremendous support since he was drafted last June, and says it's only a small part to express his support and appreciation for all that they do. It is important to remember that not only the sports fans, but also the athletes themselves have been tremendously affected. Many athletes have tested positive for the coronavirus, including Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz and Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets. Now the NBA season was suspended, as well as the MLB canceling the remainder of their spring training. The MLB's opening day has been suspended for at least 2 weeks. The NHL suspended their play, and in golf, the Masters has been postponed. 2 major marathons, the Boston Marathon and the London Marathon, have also been postponed. And speaking of cancellation, the NCAA cancels remaining winter and spring championships, as well as the Division I men's and women's basketball tournaments, leaving these student athletes upset beyond belief. Unfortunately, it comes to a point where you have to put health first. We feel for these student athletes, though, especially the seniors who had their last part of their careers in sports taken away. Statements from some of them will come in the near future, but for now, we have some updates on ship athletics. So in wrestling, the biggest highlight is from sophomore Colton Babcock, who had 9 pins on the season. This is the most victories by fall in a single season, dating back to 2016 and 2017 by Raider Mike Springer. And in men's basketball, junior point guard Jake Biss, who was previously named the PSAC East Athlete of the Year, earns his first regional award. Biss was named to the 2019-2020 D2 CCA All-Atlantic Region Men's Basketball First Team. Congratulations to Jake Biss. And moving forward each week, I will be recognizing Shippensburg athletes who make waves from a distance in the Raider way. This week we have 3 standout athletes, 2 in women's basketball and 1 in softball. But first, in women's basketball, Kershell Gordy and Dynaja Barnes are giving back to their community. Both girls gave out 100 free lunches to the youth living in the city of Chester on March 18th. These lunches are packed with juice box, crackers, chips, and some love. These girls are looking to continue this friendly gesture in these days and weeks to come and are accepting all donations. Details on where to donate will be posted in the description. The second standout athlete is senior Megan Klee as she receives the NCAA Division II Completion Award. Klee is an early childhood education major with a minor in coaching. This award is based off of athletes' involvement in campus and community activities, athletic achievement, and academic performance. Megan is so deserving of this award, so we send a warm congratulations to her. Now, obviously, things have been far from normal, but the lessons sports have taught us carry us through times like this. That's all for your weekly sports update. I'm Mackenzie Mitchell for SUTV Sports.
Now let's send it over to Megan Talley with this week's weather report. Megan?
Well, guys, the coming week looks like a roller coaster ride, and it seems it may be a little while till we get some sun. Tonight, spring starts off right with clouds at 57, and tomorrow will be a nice day to get some fresh air at 75, but be careful, there will be rain on and off all day. And in the 5-day, Mother Nature just can't seem to make up her mind. The weekend sees a 20-degree drop with highs at 50 and lows below freezing. Monday, parts of the state could see snow showers with a high of 40 and low of 35. And on Tuesday, the sun peaks in as the spring temps come back with a high of 54 and a low of 41. And then Wednesday, the April showers start early, but the temp stays the same with a high of 55 and low of 46. So just because we're all homebound, don't be afraid to go outside and enjoy the first few days of spring. That's all for this week's weather. Please stay healthy and safe. Now let's toss it back to Jacob Hitz. Jacob?
When we come back, you won't want to miss this week's trivia question. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, it's Leah Fuoco from WSYC. I'm here to tell you about practicing social distancing. This means avoiding close contact with others. People should limit their socializing to small groups of no more than 10 people. Social distancing is a very important factor when it comes to the prevention of spreading COVID-19. For more information, head to cdc.gov. This has been a public service announcement from SUTV News.
With everybody's lives around the world being currently affected in all sorts of ways by the pandemic of the coronavirus, I think it's important to take a step away from all of that and put a little bit of focus on things that can make us smile or even acts of kindness and gratitude during these stressful and unprecedented times. So according to E! News, or just around the NBA Instagram, Kevin Love, who is a star on the Cleveland Cavaliers, announced on Instagram after the NBA was announced their immediate suspension of the 2020 season due to, of course, the coronavirus outbreak. Kevin Love stepped up in a major way to help support the team's staffers financially and impacted by the shutdown. He said, quote, "I'm concerned about the level of anxiety that everyone is feeling, and that is why I am committing $100,000 to the Kevin Love Fund in support of the Cavs Arena and support staff that have a sudden life shift due to the suspension of the NBA season." He announced that on Instagram. He also said, quote, "I hope that during this time of crisis, others will join me in support of our communities." Kevin Love is one good dude. I'm Nolan Hoffman with SUTV News.
Now let's send it to Tyler Dancisin with the weekly trivia question. Tyler.
During our last newscast before the spring semester ended, SUTV News asked when MSA, or Multicultural Student Affairs, had its name changed to the one we know it as today. The first one to do so will be shouted out on our next broadcast, but since we were unable to access our studio, we decided to make it on our podcast. And the correct answer for when MSA changed its initial name to the one we know as today was in 1994. Congratulations to Steve and Dancisin on guessing the answer correctly first. Make sure you tune in to SUTV News Podcast every Thursday night for the chance of being shouted out next week. This week's trivia question is, who was the leading scorer on the women's basketball team during the 2019-2020 season here at SHIP? When you think you know the correct answer, just comment down below on whatever platform you're listening on. First correct answer will be shouted out. I'm Tyler Dancisin with this week's trivia. Let's head it back to Jacob Hitz.
Thank you for joining us on the first episode of the SUTV News Podcast. Make sure you follow SUTV News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the most updated coverage at SUTV News, and check out our website at sutvnews.org. We'll see you next week for the next episode of the SUTV News Podcast. Good night, and please remember to wash your hands.